Hey everyone, Dusty here, and today I wanted to show you my 5 favorite running shoes. Now I am a massive shoe geek. I have over 30 pairs of running shoes, and I've narrowed it down to my favorite 5. Some of them are discontinued, but you still might be able to find them online or old stock at a running shoe store. And as far as the shoes go that I'm going to review, they're all neutral shoes because that's the foot type that I have. And these shoes are all for road. I don't do much for trail running, and they range from everything from a very lightweight, quite minimal racing flat shoe to something a lot more heavier and something that I do some of my longer training runs with. So with that being said, let me show you some of the ones that are discontinued that you still might be able to find either online or some old stock at a running shoe store. Alright, let's start with the Asics Gel Lyte33. This shoe was awesome for training. It's very cushioned, offered me quite a bit of support. Fortunately, it's now discontinued, but it was one of the comfiest shoes that I owned as far as a training shoe goes. I never actually raced in this shoe. I just thought it would probably be a little bit too heavy for my racing at least. If I were to train and race in a full marathon, I'd probably pick a shoe similar to this, maybe slightly lighter, but all around a very great shoe. And if you can find this one somewhere, definitely give it a try and stock up. Alright, next up we have another Asics, and this one is actually a triathlon specific shoe. And this is the Gel Noosafast Fast, and when this first came out, I put them on, I went for a short run, and I loved it so much I bought 3 pairs. Now unfortunately my third and last pair are getting worn out, and I am in desperate search of trying to find some more because unfortunately they're discontinued now. But overall this was an awesome shoe. I would even wear this in just my normal training runs as well as race days, triathlon, and just road running races. And I really love this shoe. It's quite cushioned. I had no issues running in this shoe barefoot. I could transition from the bike to the run very quickly. It has a very durable tongue, and I could slide my foot in very quickly. It also has drainage holes on the bottom, so if you're running through an aid station in a triathlon and you dump water on your head and that gets into your shoe, the shoe will dry out a little bit faster, which is nice. I definitely didn't get as long life out of this shoe as I would out of a normal runner, but I've raced in this shoe from distances as short as a 10K all the way up to a full marathon in an Ironman. Right now we're getting down to my 3 final shoes. These ones are not discontinued, so you can still find these online or in a running shoe store. And let's start with the New Balance RC1600. Now this is the least amount of shoe that I'm going to show you. It's definitely a racing flat. It's not super minimal, but it is quite minimal. I find this has quite a bit of cushion considering how ultra light it is. Definitely not getting much life out of this shoe at all. I already need to replace it, but when I put these shoes on, I feel really fast. I've ran my best 5K times in the shoe, my best 10K times, and my best half marathon times. I don't think I'd run any further than a half marathon in this shoe, but yeah, when I'm fit and I'm feeling fast and I'm doing a road race, this is definitely my go-to shoe. Alright, and the 4th shoe is also a New Balance, and this is similar to the first shoe I showed you, the Asics Gel Lyte33. But this one isn't discontinued, and this is the New Balance 890, the 4th version of it. I'm not sure what they're up to now. It's either the 5th or 6th version, but very similar shoe. It's definitely bigger, has a lot more cushioning, has some nice support. It's a little bit wider of a shoe, but it doesn't bother me. Yeah, just an all-around great shoe. I definitely don't race in this, but I do some of my easier training runs and some of my longer training runs in this shoe. And last up, we have another Asics, and that is the Asics Gel Hyperspeed. This is the 3rd version of the shoe that I've owned. I think they're up to seven versions of it now, and I've bought 3 of them. And this is all around a great shoe. I know there's quite a few other elite runners and professional triathletes that prefer this shoe as well. This shoe is a racing flat. It's not quite as extreme as the New Balance RC1600, but it's a little bit heavier, has a little bit more cushion, still light enough to go really fast on race day. And this is a shoe that I do quite a bit of training in as well. If I ever have to do a tempo run, or I've even taken the shoe to the track and done like kilometer repeats, mile repeats. And out of all those shoes, at least the ones that aren't discontinued, this would probably be my go-to. I could do a long run in this, I could do a tempo run, I could do an easy run, and I would have no issues wearing this shoe on race day as well. Those are just some of my favorite 5 out of the 30 plus pairs that I have, but I've also had good luck with Mizuno, more so back in the day. They've changed some of the models that I did like to run in, but as far as Mizuno goes, the Riders and Precision are good shoes. I've had a little bit of luck with Brooks. I've also ran in Karhu and a few other brands as well. Now there are a few brands that I would like to try that I haven't yet. Hoka is getting bigger every month, it seems. They're sponsoring big events all the time. They have some big names, especially triathletes running in Hokas. I've never ever tried a pair on, so I'd be interested in trying those. I've heard really good things about the On running shoes. I haven't tried any On, but like I said, I've heard great things, so I definitely want to try a pair on soon and see what they're all about. And then another brand that I'd like to try that I haven't yet is Skechers. Back in the day, at least, Skechers were kind of known as just, you know, cheap shoes that you would find when you go to Walmart. Just casual shoes, or like really cheap running shoes. And I think in the last few years they've kind of upped their game, at least in the running shoe world. They have some really big name runners running in their shoes, like Meb, who won the Boston Marathon a few years ago. So that's one brand that I'd be interested in trying as well, just to compare them to my favorites and see what they're all about. And as you can see, I run in a lot of shoes that have a high heel to toe drop, as well as ones that don't have that much of a heel to toe drop. And I just like mixing it up all the time. On race day, I almost always go to a racing flat that has a low heel to toe drop and is a quite light shoe. But other than that, I have no issues running with a bigger shoe like the New Balance 890 for a normal training run. And if you're in the market for new shoes, I would definitely look at New Balance and Asics as well. Those are definitely 2 of the biggest running shoe brands on earth, and for good reason. They have a huge variety of shoes that you can pick from, and more than likely you can find one that works for you. If you have a narrow foot or a wide foot, most of their models come in wide and narrow widths. And having worked in the running store many years ago, New Balance and Asics were definitely the heavy favorites. People would just put those shoes on and immediately fall in love with them. They're super cushioned. There's lots of options for racing flats or trail shoes if that's your thing. And now you can find most runners in just crazy colors and lots of color options as well. So those are my 5 favorite shoes. If you want to let me know what your favorite shoes are, just comment down below for favorite shoe or favorite shoes. And if you have any questions about anything shoe related, feel free to send me a message or put your question down below in the comments. I worked in a triathlon and running store for 5 years and sold thousands of pairs of shoes, and that's where I bought my 30 plus pairs. And when it comes to running shoes, it's something that I love and I'm a total geek about. So if you have any questions, just ask away and I'll try to help you as best I can. Like always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe for more everything running, triathlon, and nutrition related.